5 most mysterious ghost ship stories. Ghost ships have been a subject of discussion since, well, ships with more famous tales like that of the Mary Celeste or the Flying Dutchman breaking into mainstream. In this video, we'll be covering some of the true scary stories of the ocean and cover some of the ships that sank into the graveyard of the Pacific. Before we start the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below for your favorite ghost ship. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste was built in Canada and sailed from 1861 to 1872 with no incident. However, that year, the Mary Celeste got a new captain, Benjamin Briggs. Briggs selected a good, capable crew for the Mary Celeste, and they departed from New York with a shipment of denatured alcohol to be delivered to Italy. The Mary Celeste never arrived in Italy, though, and was unheard from until a passing ship called the Dei Gratia saw it adrift in the ocean 400 miles from shore. Strangely, there was no sign of the crew, the captain, or his wife and daughter. The ship was undamaged, but a lifeboat was missing. 6 months of food and fresh water were still on the ship. The most interesting part of the story is that there is no explanation as to why the crew left. While some theorize that something went wrong with the alcohol on the ship, there was no evidence to suggest that it caught fire, exploded, or was even ruined in any way. The missing lifeboat and food on board meant that the crew left in a hurry. Wherever they were headed to, though, they didn't make it. No one on board at the time of departure was ever found. Others speculate that the ship was abandoned because the crew was attacked by some terrifying sea monster. There are any number of explanations, from a pirate attack to a mutiny to some of the ship's equipment simply being faulty. But there has never been conclusive proof as to what caused the Mary Celeste to be abandoned. Many authors have tried to come up with their own explanations, including Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, famous for writing Sherlock Holmes. Doyle thought the inhabitants may have fallen victim to a former slave with a grudge against the crew. No one will ever be able to tell, though, as the Mary Celeste was reclaimed and sailed for 12 more years before its final captain ran her aground as part of an insurance fraud scheme. What do you think happened to the crew on board the Mary Celeste? What would make you abandon a ship in such a hurry? Let us know in the comments below. Number 2. SS Valencia. The SS Valencia was a steamer built for service in 1882 and was used for sailing. 16 years later, she was sold to the Pacific Steam Whaling Company and was used between San Francisco and Alaska. She was eventually chartered for use by the U.S. Army for the Spanish-American War. She eventually returned to civil service in 1901, but was unable to handle some of the harsher conditions she had to endure. The SS Valencia was in service in an area known as the Graveyard of the Pacific, so named for its treacherous waters, storms, icebergs, and other hazards. In 1906, the Valencia struck a reef off the coast of Vancouver Island. The captain ordered the ship to be run aground as they were taking on a lot of water. In the conclusion, 7 lifeboats were lowered against the captain's orders. 3 flipped and dumped the passengers into the ocean. Another 3 were successfully launched, but 2 of them quickly capsized, and the last one disappeared. Some men made it to shore and were able to summon help, but it was too late. As the overland party arrived to rescue the passengers still trapped on the Valencia, the ship collapsed, and the remaining passengers drowned, were battered against the rocks by waves, or died of hypothermia while clinging to floating wreckage. Only 37 men survived. No women or children did. At least 117 people were killed, with a federal report of the incident naming 136 official deaths. Locals claim to have seen some of the lifeboats manned by the skeletal remains of the passengers. Others have also claimed to have seen a phantom ship of the Valencia in the foggy distance, witnessing waves wash over it as the silhouetted passengers clung to life. The wreck of the SS Valencia to this day remains one of the worst maritime disasters in the graveyard of the Pacific. Number 3. The Caleuche. The Caleuche is a mythical ship originating from Caleuche Island in Chile. The legend varies from tale to tale. Some versions claim it is crewed by drowned sailors and sirens, and can give the dead an existence and purpose on board as if they were alive again. Others describe the ship as enchanting to sailors, drawing them in to enslave them as crew until the end of time. A more common version claims that the ship is used by warlocks to transfer goods and have magical gatherings on. Some other tales have the crew of the Caleuche making magic pacts with merchants. These pacts ensure that the merchant will find financial success, but the crew of the Caleuche gets free favors, such as using the homes of the merchants for rowdy, illegal parties. This version of the legend grew to popularity after the 1960 earthquake in Chile left some of the houses untouched by the natural disaster. What do you think of the Caleuche? Would you make a pact with her crew to find financial success? Or would you rather have nothing to do with the evil crew that mans her? Number 4. The Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman may be the most famous ship on our list by name alone. As the legend goes, the Flying Dutchman was a ship that was doomed to sail eternally, never able to make it back to ports or harbors. Sightings of this ship claimed it glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light, and any sailor who sees it likely won't make it back to shore again. One of the most famous sightings was that of Prince George, who went on to be King George V. The crew of the Flying Dutchman is commonly thought to be heinous criminals. And even after they long since died of illness and disease, they must continue to traverse the ocean until their eternal sentences from their crimes have been served in full. However, cynics claim that the Flying Dutchman is a simple mirage, or a fata morgana. A fata morgana is the term used for a mirage of something that our minds interpret to be complex. Another optical effect, known as looming, is what gives the Flying Dutchman the appearance that it is flying. Looming occurs when light rays bounce off different refractive surfaces, and can make ships on the horizon appear to be flying in the air. The idea of the Flying Dutchman has resonated with artists, poets, and other media makers since its inception, and is still in pop culture to this day. Perhaps the most popular appearance of the Flying Dutchman is in the children's TV show SpongeBob SquarePants, where both the ship and the captain go by that name. The Flying Dutchman has made dozens of cameos across different episodes of TV, literary works, and movies. What's your favorite depiction of the Flying Dutchman? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. The Ourang Medan. The SS Ourang Medan was shipwrecked in Indonesia in the 1940s. A strange SOS message was picked up on the radios of surrounding ships. The message read, "We float. All officers, including the captain, are dead. Lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. I die." 2 ships went to investigate and found the transmission to be coming from the Ourang Medan. A search party boarded and realized the message was accurate. There were bodies of crew members everywhere, their faces twisted in terror even in death. The rescue party also made note of the fact that surrounding temperatures were over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but on board the Ourang Medan, there was a chill in the air. All of the dead passengers had no sign of injury on them. The search party decided to tow the Ourang Medan to salvage it, and after tethering it to their ships, they discovered smoke. Cutting the tow rope, the search party watched as the Ourang Medan exploded, flying out of the water before sinking to the bottom of the ocean forever. While the story of the Ourang Medan is chilling, it's unsubstantiated. While one of the search party ships, the Silver Star, was real, there is no history for the Ourang Medan to speak of. And the Silver Star was not known by that name during the time the incident could have taken place. However, some have suggested that this ship was a secret government project, carrying a devastating bioweapon for use in World War II. Others think that the deaths on board were caused by paranormal activity. Do you think the story of the Ourang Medan was real? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching our video. Looking for more? Check out this playlist. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss more videos by us. We've got 2 more spooky videos like this one coming up soon. Why not leave a comment down below about which ghost ship was your favorite? Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.